Okay, so let's add color. When you're all done retouching, straightening your horizon, dodging burning, at the very top of your layer panel, you make a new layer. And we're going to call it color. I'm going to zoom in, Command plus, grab the brush, and in the foreground here, double click on the white spot, and it opens up the color picker. And you can pick any color you want. Say we pick this lovely blue. And then you start painting. Now, does that look realistic at all? It looks, you know, it's not blending. What's happening is the paint is just sitting on the top and not paying any consideration to the pixels below. But what might you change?
Multiply.
You could do multiply, the layer blending mode. Multiply looks good. Soft light gives you an entirely different effect. Overlay. The shortcuts to go through these blending modes is Shift plus and Shift minus when the move tool is selected. So because I couldn't say what pin light's going to look like offhand, I understand the concepts. You can see how they relate, right, and see how the paint looks. Overlay looks pretty good. Again, the shortcut for cycling through these is Shift plus, but the move tool must be selected to do that. So then, once that's done, you can go in and continue painting. I am going to go through a couple of different ways to paint, and if you go like woohoo like that, no problem. Get the eraser, and because no pixels live on this layer, you can go back and forth until it looks good. This is the easiest way of adding color. Just kind of painting it in.
You want us to add color to the picture?
I do want you to add color, and I'm going to give you several different ways of doing it, but today I'm just going to introduce this very basic way, using the brush. Now if I want to do the dock, double click in the foreground color. I could pick like a mustard or something, kind of paint that in. If you paint everything on one layer, it will all be overlay. If you decide you want different colors to have different blending modes, you will need to make a new layer. So if I don't like the way that this looks, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to see how it looks if I change it to multiply. Maybe multiply looks good, or maybe soft light. So this layer, all of the color on it will have overlay applied. This layer, all of the color on it will have soft light applied. So if I continue coloring, it will all have that layer blending mode. So you can do it all on one layer, you can do it on several. Just make sure that you name all of your layers. Shortcut for changing the brush size is located next to the letter P. Also, make sure that when you're painting, your option bar, the mode of the brush is set to normal. If it's not, all sorts of crazy things will happen. And for now, we want to just keep it real. So keep it on normal. 100% opacity, 100% flow. If you want to change the layer blending mode here, or the opacity of the layer here, that's a good place to start, right? And this is for the entire layer. Right. So you could probably take this down a little bit, and it starts to look pretty good. When people ask me how much to color, I say the whole thing, because it's not actually that much. All right, it's pretty simple. Another option, if you decided, I don't really want to color it like that, is you could add an adjustment layer. And the one that I have been enjoying playing with is Color Lookup. Add that to the top. And there are all sorts of presets, which are kind of beautiful. The only thing is, it's on, let's use futuristic bleak. You've got to edit out the edges on this layer mask that comes with the adjustment layer. So you would just hide the sides so they would be white and the effect is just applied to the image. You don't need to add a layer mask to this layer. Every adjustment layer comes with one. So those are two options for coloring. You could do both if you wanted to. It might look kind of cool. If you did the color lookup on top and that was more of a global, and then you had these little localized areas of color, I think it might look kind of beautiful. Okay? And this is a layer mask. Just hide these white edges and you're good. If you go too far, like woohoo, just hit X. X is an X-ray. Put white in the front. Bada bing, bada boom. Sound good? I'll show you a couple more ways of doing it, but I think this is a great start.